All right, so today we're doing a deep dive on something that, a lot of our listeners have been asking about.
Yeah.
And that is multi-year guaranteed annuities.
MYGA.
MYGAs, for short.
Yeah.
So basically, right, if you are someone, like a lot of our listeners who are looking for ways to grow your savings, safely and steadily.
Yeah.
And
predictably.
Yeah, predictably. Exactly.
Securely.
MYGAs, they keep popping up, right?
They do.
Like everywhere you look.
Yeah, it's a hot topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For good reason.
So we're going to break down exactly how they work, why they might be a good fit for you.
Right.
And even, maybe some things to watch out for as well.
Absolutely. So MYGAs, like, think of them as a very specialized tool in your financial toolbox. If your goal is preserving your money,
right,
keeping it safe and sound, and generating that predictable income stream that you were talking about, they can be incredibly effective. So I've seen them being compared to like high-yield savings accounts.
Yeah.
But are they really similar?
I mean, that's a great question.
We all know how a savings account works.
Right.
But MYGAs seem more complicated.
Yeah, they're a little more nuanced for sure.
Yeah.
There are some key differences.
Okay.
So think of it this way.
Okay.
A high-yield savings account, that's your sprinter.
Okay.
That's good for short term. You need to get to that money.
Right.
You need that liquidity.
Right.
MYGA is more like your marathon runner.
Okay.
It's designed for the long haul.
Got it.
So you're trading a little bit of that flexibility.
Okay. So you're locking it in.
You're locking it in.
To that security.
You got it.
Okay.
So knowing that your principal, your money is protected from those market swings.
Right.
The ones that keep us up at night.
That's a good point, right?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what we're, a lot of our listeners, I think, are looking for, is that kind of like sleep at night, factor.
Exactly that peace of mind, knowing that your money is safe and growing steadily.
Okay, so that's the, that's the guaranteed part.
Right.
But this fixed interest rate for the entire contract, how does that stack up against, say, like bonds or CDs where the rates can kind of fluctuate?
Right. So that's where your personal risk tolerance comes in.
Okay.
With MYGA, you were saying, okay, I'm willing to accept a lower potential return in exchange for that guarantee.
Okay.
If interest rates go through the roof during your MYGA term, you won't benefit from that.
Right.
But on the flip side, if they plummet, you're sitting pretty...
protected.
You're protected, exactly. So it's really about peace of mind and knowing exactly what you're going to get.
Right. And I think that's really appealing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because, with all the volatility and all the uncertainty...
Absolutely.
It's just nice to have that one thing.
You got it.
That's like, okay, this is what I know I'm going to get.
Exactly.
So speaking of, peace of mind and guarantees and all that...
Yeah.
The source material that we were looking at mentioned some tax advantages.
Yes.
And it wasn't just kind of like a general, oh, this is good for taxes.
Right.
It's like some really specific stuff.
It was.
What's the deal with that?
Yeah, so this is where the long game of a MYGA really shines.
Okay.
Your interest earnings, they compound tax-deferred.
Yeah.
So you're not paying taxes every single year.
Got it.
It's like a snowball rolling downhill, getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Without the tax man taking a bite out of it.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So the money's just growing and growing.
Exactly. And then you only pay taxes when you take the money out.
Okay.
Ideally in retirement when you might be in a lower tax bracket anyway.
Hold on, back up a sec.
Yeah.
You said ideally in retirement? Does that mean I'm stuck with this money?
Well,
until then?
That's a good point.
What if I need it sooner?
Most MYGAs, they actually have a provision for penalty-free withdrawals.
Okay.
Usually it's up to 10% per year.
Okay.
But it's really meant for emergencies.
Got it.
Not for, oh, I want to go on vacation.
Right. A true emergency.
Yeah. A rainy day fund, essentially.
Yeah.
And, of course, you'll still pay taxes on those withdrawals.
Right. Okay, so there is some flexibility.
There is.
But these things are really designed to stay put.
Long term?
For the long haul.
For long haul.
Okay, now, our research also mentioned working with an annuity broker.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting because I was like, well, why can't I just buy one online?
You could.
Like I do everything else.
You could, but think of it like surgery.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to operate on yourself, would you?
Probably not.
Right. You want a professional.
Yeah.
Same thing with MYGAs, a good broker. They're going to help you navigate all those complexities. They're going to compare all the different options and make sure that the terms really align with your specific goals.
So they're not just trying to
exactly.
sell me something.
They're not just pushing a product.
They're actually helping me figure out.
They're your advocate.
If it's right for me.
They're your advocate. They're on your team.
Got it.
Great.
Okay, that makes sense. And, speaking of brokers.
Yeah.
I did see diversified insurance brokers mentioned in our research.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like they have a really good reputation.
Yeah.
Really focused on individual needs, not just, pushing products.
Exactly.
Like I was saying.
Yeah, they're all about finding the right fit.
Yeah.
For the individual client.
Okay, so to sum all this up, MYGAs, they're about security,
right? Predictable
growth, tax advantages.
Absolutely.
But they're not without their caveats, right?
Right.
Like we were talking about limited liquidity.
Yeah.
Potentially missing out on higher returns elsewhere. If the market really takes off.
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
It's a trade-off.
You're giving up some potential upside for that guaranteed downside protection.
Exactly. So it's really about figuring out what's important to you.
Exactly.
What your goals are.
Absolutely.
Right.
So that brings us to the big question.
Okay.
Where does MYGA fit into your overall financial strategy?
Yeah, that's a great question for our listeners to think about.
Yeah, imagine a portion of your savings steadily growing, protected from that market chaos.
Right.
And it's all working towards your long-term vision.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind, exactly.
Right. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so that is some food for thought for our listeners.
Absolutely.
And if you want more personalized guidance, like we were saying, diversified insurance brokers could be a great starting point.
They could.
They can help you figure out if MYGA is your path to
financial freedom.
Financial peace of mind.
Financial peace of mind, yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Of course, my pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
Take care.